What is going on, guys? DBG here. In this video, we are going to be ranking the best Galaxy Opal cards in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM, lads. So, basically, well, it's exactly what it says on the tin, I guess. We're going to be ranking the best players between 97 and 98 overall in my team. But before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to, well, we don't have any sub goal number. Realistically, the last goal we're ever going to hit is 250k on this channel. I'm perfectly happy with it. But if you guys are new to the channel, enjoy this content, like my team, and want to just learn more about the mode, this is the best place for that. You'll be to learn about the best budget cards, the ins and outs of the mode, and how to play the game without spending money. So, anyway, let's take a look right here. First up is Aaron Gordon. And Gordon is severely underrated. I don't like his release, but I think B tier is fair for Aaron Gordon. The guy does everything. Like, as much as I'm not that high on him, it's because a load of great cards came out in Spotlight Sims, and personally, I prefer, for example, Bam Adebayo and stuff to him. But I mean, he does everything. He does everything. He handles it, he shoots, he can curry on both gens. His release, I don't like it, but it's not objectively bad. Again, we know from Halliburton that it's fine. He dunks, he plays defense, he does absolutely everything. And I mean, maybe B tier is a little bit low for him, to be completely honest. I might end up moving him higher. But he's one of the most slept on Spotlight Sim cards. Actually, that actually makes me think, I'm actually going to do, because the squad builder that I have recorded for later tonight, I recorded it yesterday. It's a rookie squad builder, and Jay Canada uploaded that one yesterday. So I'm going to leave that about a week or so before I upload that video anyway. So I'm going to upload the top 10 most underrated players, and you better believe Aaron Gordon is going to be somewhere on that. He is so good and so underrated. And then we've got Alex English. I really like Alex English. And considering the fact that someone is going to be reacting to this and is going to always complain about why Alex English is better than Carmelo Anthony, Pro 3 behind the back compared to Melo's Pro 1. No blinders. Obviously, blinders helps on next gen, but I mean, steady helps on current gen. Base 55 is better than Melo base. I'm just going to say it right now. It's basically the same, but it's better. Can't shoot from the corners, but it's easier to green. Can curry slide, which, yeah, it's not the be-all and end-all. It's unbelievably important on next gen. And it's, you know what, it helps. It helps being able to curry slide on current gen. And I mean, he just moves better behind the back, obviously. And then on next gen, he actually has a usable dribble style. Like, Carmelo Anthony is borderline unusable, whereas Alex English is very solid. I think B tier is fine for him. And I don't mind that release. Like, my problem with Melo has never been Melo's release. It's everything else. Amari Sadamar is going one tier below. But I like him. This is a reluctant... Right now, this is a reluctant placing here. Because Amari has a lot of good things. He reminds me a lot of George Mikan. I'm going to have to put... I've got 3 players in B tier to start this off. AK, A tier. Okay, we finally have someone not in the tier. Amari Sadamar, again, he's a really good shooter. He can do it. He dribbles the ball relatively well. He's decent behind the back. He's got good height. And is an all-around good card. AK, one of the best defenders in the game. Base 98 and quick. Great catch-and-shoot player. Current gen, he's great on defense, but he's a little bit inconsistent shooting-wise because of the half steady. Gets half blinders on next gen, but I do think his release isn't nearly as good on next gen. So I think A tier is probably fine for him. I might move him down, but yeah, let's keep him there. Bam Adebayo. So just like Kendrick Perkins, I'm going to add an extra syllable to his name. So Bam Adebayo is... I'm so high on Bam Adebayo. It's actually like... If you're on current gen, maybe Bam is a little bit of a lower tier. But I've used him on current gen. I still like him. I still like base 62 on current gen. I liked it with Lionel Simmons, and I love it on Bam Adebayo. Weird looking upper, but once you get used to it, it's one of my favorite releases. He's baby Bill Russell on next gen. He is baby Bill Russell. He is 85% of Bill Russell, but you keep 95% of your sanity. If you're on next gen, obviously go for Bill Russell because it's doable. But if you're on current gen and you're really struggling with Bill, I mean, you've got Baby Bill right here. And actually, to be fair, they're a lot closer next gen than current gen. But, yeah, I'm going to go A tier for Bam. Billy Cunningham. I mean, D. He's like a 6'6" Blake with a release on quick and can't really curry or move that well. D. It's alright when he came out, though. Billy Owens. B. On current gen, I'd put him in C. And again, if you're trying to argue that he's better than Alex English, I mean, okay. I prefer Alex English to Billy Owens. Billy Owens, he's 6'8", though. Decent release Dame. Dame release better on next gen, especially on very quick. He's also, obviously, can curry, he can go to the basket well. I don't know. B, C, B, C. B, I guess. Bobby Jones. Where's AK? Basically a B. Beal. Man, I grinded so much with this Bradley Beal. I played 12 games. 12. 1-2. I played 12 games of triple threat. Not even triple threat. Triple threat would have been fine. I played 12 games of limited. I played limited. It was season 6. It was right after the out of position cards came out. It was WrestleMania Saturday. I remember it vividly. It was not even WrestleMania Saturday. It was WrestleMania Sunday that I got this card. I remember it so vividly because I got him. He was the last player that I got, I'm pretty sure. And I got Bradley Beal while I was watching The Fiend versus Randy Orton, one of the weirdest matches ever. I remember that vividly. He sucks though. I'm just trying to think of a good memory to do with this card. Yeah, Ray Allen base is good. It's on quick. Yeah, he's got blinders. Slasher dribble style. Can't play point guard. He's 6'3". He sucks. Calbert Chaney. You know what? I'm going to swap. Billy Owens go down. Chaney go up. I think Calbert Chaney is Billy Owens with some better hot zones. I think he's just that slight bit better. Again, 6'7", wing, long wingspan. He can curry. He's got base 28, which is a really good release, and I like him. Chris Morris. If you're looking for a purely 3-and-D player, I mean, you could argue B. He's B or C. Chaney versus Morris. I prefer Chaney just due to his release, but Morris has got half range and he's a bit taller. That's a tough one. That is a really tough one. We're going to go C tier for him. Chris Mullin. B. Man, Mullin. I don't know what it is. Lefty players for me, they're all chicken men. I love every lefty player's release except Manu Ginobili's. I don't know what it is. It is pure, there's 100% a bias for me about lefty players. And I will be the first to admit that because I just love lefty shooters. And that's why I love Chris Mullin. Can you do much else except shoot? I mean, he's mediocre at everything else. That's about it. Man, this is just all B tier players, isn't it? You know what? We're in mid-zone. Let's fill out the scrubs first. Michael Adams, I'm sorry, he's 5'10". Simple as he's 5'10". Donovan Mitchell's base 4, not great release, only on quick, not very quick, 6'1". I mean, yeah, at this stage in the game, Donovan Mitchell's pretty worthless. But again, Donovan Mitchell was fine when he came out. He was a good card when he came out, and I was a big fan of this card when he came out at the very start of March. That was like when my team was at its peak. He came out the day after. The 250s on the Saturday, he came out on the Monday. This was peak my team. From like the month of March was peak my team. Because this card came out like one day before I did the beard wager with Ty. Like it was well and truly peak my team community. So I've got a lot of good memories of this card, but I don't even think he made my team straight away. I think I was using Bonga as my point guard instead of him at one stage. Okay, who else is going in these lower tiers? This Shaq, I mean, he's athletic. And it's the same with the other Shaq, the Opal Shaq. He's athletic and he's big, so I'm going to put him in E tier, but he can't shoot, so I can't put him any higher. Rondo's way better. Like, he's a 6'1" point guard, so I can't put him high on the list. But Rondo's a night and day better than Donovan Mitchell. Like, he just is. I don't know what it is with Rondo, but Rondo has some... Rondo plays better than he should. He plays a lot better than he should. There's not that many really bad cards left, is there? There really isn't. Oh, you. How did I forget about you? You are terrible. You are a trash can, Jared Culver. They gave him worse dribble sigs than his silver. Yeah, he's got Trey Burke base. Whoop-de-doo. He's only got gold range and no hot zones. And a low-rated 3-point rating. He stinks. He absolutely stinks. Not only that, he was an RNG-based card. Like, oh, everything that was... He epitomized everything that was wrong with Season 6. He epitomized everything that was wrong with Season 6 RNG reality. Okay. Trying to think who belongs in these lower tiers. These are all half decent players. Jokic, at this stage in the game, I'm going to put Jokic in. Now, Jokic belongs in C. Jokic definitely belongs in C. Decent shooter. I like set shot 14. I really like him on current gen. I don't really like him on next gen because of his dribble style. But he's actually got like 90 something speed. Yeah, Jokic belongs in C. And I'm trying to look. There are a lot of bad opals. They just didn't make this list. Booker. I mean, his release is alright. D for Booker. Booker's... I only used him once and he was okay. He wasn't great. He was not great at all. Chris Webber. This is a tough one because... You know it's not. What point guards are better than Webber on this list? So the best point guard is probably Lonzo. Or Luka. Sorry, Luka. So like S tier, is he number 3? You know, he might be the 3rd best point guard here. Again, S tier, I'm going to keep 10 players in S tier. And it's going to be the best Opal squad. But yeah, I've got these guys. So Clyde, C. He is Chicken Man though on next gen. He really is. Like, I'm telling you, if we get later on in the year half blinders, half range Clyde, he's gonna be one of the best cards in the game on next gen. His release is so good. Base 5, like it's one of the better releases off the dribble, but it's easily a top 3 or 4 catch and shoot release. Can't believe I forgot about him when I was talking my best releases on next gen. Oh, Hito, how did I forget about you? Yours is a disappointment. You were meant to be the chosen one. Not only that, you are a retro card of the chosen one. You were the chosen one. You were the chosen one, Hito. You were the reason why people stopped caring about overalls. You, Hito, you were the chosen one. You were the person who most evidently epitomized the message I've been trying to give since 2K17 that overall doesn't matter. It was you. It was you, Hito. And you suck. You suck so bad this year. Oh, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. And it doesn't even matter if they give Hito a better card. It doesn't even matter because this retro of one of the greatest cards we've ever seen in any 2K game. And he was like 7 KMT in that 2K game. One of the greatest cards we've ever seen. It's garbage, man. Unless they do Alonzo Ball where they change the release on all the Alonzos. And change this Hito's release. He's just a garbage, man. There's no other way to describe it. As much as I hate it. He was my favorite. He was my favorite. He's a big reason for success of this channel. Heck, there was even a stage where Hito Turkoglu followed me on Instagram. But he's a garbage man. Corey Maggette, fine. Like DC. I mean, DC is probably better. Who's used Corey Maggette? Really, who's used Corey Maggette? He's not bad though. He's actually not half bad. And then we have got Danny Ferry, the most obvious S tier. Like, you can still make the argument that Danny Ferry's the number 1 card in this game. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be inclined to agree with you, but you can make that argument. you can definitely make that argument that he is the best in the game at that tier. Or overall best in the game. Cowens. I mean, if I'm putting Bobby Jones in B, I gotta put Cowens in B. Really, if you can get used to base 1, he's alright. And it's a pity because he had base 11 in other years. And they gave him base 1 this year. At least they didn't give him Aldridge base. At least they didn't do him dirty like they did Hito dirty, but he's no longer one of the base 11 gods. Like, we can't forget he is no longer one of the base 11 gods. D-Rob. Does D-Rob make the best 10? I don't know. I'm going to put him in A for now, but D-Rob's class. Rodman. E, I'm sorry. Like, he plays too good defense. And everything except shooting is good enough to keep him above worthless tier. But man, he's close to worthless tier. He is close to worthless tier. And Darren Williams. Next gen he's C. Current gen he's not on the list, so D. Dirk. B. Slightly better Jokic, I guess. Sabonis. C. Similar level to these guys. I just think he's that little bit smaller. It's a close one there, though. Eddie Johnson. Oh, man. This is a tough one. Place to put him. I'm going to have to put him B because he's like A tier on next gen and he's C tier on current gen. So I'm going to go B. But like Eddie Johnson is just Sadiq Bey, but he can play the 2. And speaking of Sadiq Bey, but he can play the 2. Sadiq Bey, Eddie Jones, and Eddie Johnson are the same card. Just a heads up. They're literally... I don't mean... Sorry, no. I'm using the word literally like I'm Leafy. They are basically the same card. And I will show you guys right... There's no point showing you guys. I'm pretty sure... They've got the same behind the back. I just need to find Sadiq Bey. I'm pretty sure they've got the same behind the back, the same jump shot, a very similar upper. They've got basically the same dribble sigs, almost identical stats. These 3 are basically the same card. They all have base 31 with hot blind. They all have hot blinders as well. All 3 of these have hot blinders. Like, they are basically all the same card. So if you want to say, oh, Eddie Jones is better than Eddie Johnson, they're basically the same. It's placebo. If you're out here like very, very like heavily pushing that Eddie Jones is better than Eddie Johnson, it is purely placebo. Because 2K made them basically the same card. So I'm gonna show you guys right here. See, hopefully we can get this onto the screen and it doesn't. Okay, there we go. So Eddie Johnson, 35 half badges. Very, very good stats. Half blinders, half range, yada, yada, yada. What's to be expected. Base 31, release 27, Pro 2, Pro 2, Pro 1 behind the back. Then you've got Eddie Jones. Actually, he's got the Pro 3 behind the back, but the exact same release. The exact same release. Basically the same card. The only difference is a couple of extra Hall of Fame badges and a different behind the back. And then we've got Sadiq Bey, who's 37 half badges. And if you look at his animations, a little bit of different upper, but the same base. And he's got basically the same sigs as... He's got... The only difference is he is the different behind the back. So I think, is Sadiq Bey an exact clone of Eddie Johnson? Either way, though, like, they're literally the same card. They're the same cards. 3 of them, you can't put them in different tiers. They're basically the same card. And funnily enough, 2 of them, both their names are Eddie. And the first letter of their second name is J. Then we've got Giannis Antaracampo. Oh. S, but it's close. I don't know how much I prefer Giannis to D-Rob. That's a really close in my opinion. Glenn Robinson. I mean, C, he's undersized. I like his release, don't get me wrong, but like, as much as I really want to like this guy, because he was God. He was a God tier player for me for so long. It's a little bit like Eddie Jones. Like, this card had a special place in the DBG team, but I mean, if we're being honest, like, if we are being completely honest, Glenn Robinson is like, he's just Sean Elliott, but he can't play the two. Greg Oden, I'm not the biggest fan. D. I don't know. I just don't like his release. I don't think his animations are great. I mean, on current gen, he's better than next. Screw it, I'll put him C. I'll put him C. He has some redeeming qualities, I guess. Hal Greer in the right hand. I'm gonna have to put Hal Greer A, because Hal Greer is better than Juan Carlos Navarro, wherever he is. So I'm gonna put him in B. But Hal Greer is like an upgraded version of Juan Carlos Navarro. So for me, I'm going to put him in A, because like in the right hands, in a pro-am guard's hands, it doesn't matter what gen you... Actually, no. Next gen, I wouldn't really use him. But if you're on current gen in a pro-am guard's hands, he could be the most dangerous player in the game. Like, I'm surprised we haven't seen... I'm surprised at this stage we haven't seen a bunch... There hasn't been like the pro-am revolution in my team. Whereas this time last year, a whole load of pro-am players all came into my team. Pro-am ball handlers, like Definitive, Breezy. It doesn't seem like there's a whole bunch of new pro-am players that are coming in this year like came in last year. So like the Hal Greer card hasn't really been seen too much, but man, in the right hands, he's a demon. Crawford. I'm going A tier. I love Jamal Crawford. I love this Jamal Crawford card. He's my backup point guard. Like, I use him over the likes of Manu, and I'm going to put Manu in the same tier as well. Because I know a lot of people are dead set on Manu being a god. Manu, if you can green... Like, again, Manu versus Crawford is preference. It is honestly preference. Obviously, you got half Showtime on Manu, which is something. So, obviously, that is, like, the one... If you're looking at, like, actual differences between these cards, I think the fact that Manu is half Showtime is, like, the only real difference. But Manu's X and base, it is literally preference. I prefer Trey Burke base to Manu's weird upper. I can't get used to it. I've tried him so many times I can't. But I think these guys are preference based because I really like Crawford. Wiseman, no brainer, S. And like I've seen him on current gen. He's good on current gen. Curry base on a big. Is he anywhere near as good on current gen as he is on next gen? No. Like, is he in the conversation with Dikembe or Shaq or Wilt on current gen? No. Is he better than all of them on next gen? Yes. Wiseman, I'm gonna say the best player in the game on next gen. Over Bol Bol, over Kristaps, for me, the best player in the game on next gen. Wiseman's god tier. Actually, it depends. For the average player, he's the best. Ray Allen in the right hands, probably the best. Then we've got Jason Terry. Well, actually, no. What am I on about? Half Blinders, Bill Russell's the best player on next gen. Jet Terry. Rondo tier, E. Jaylen Brown. Bang average, B tier. I mean, what's Jaylen Brown going to give you that? Like, what's he going to give you that Caliber Cheney isn't? Except for like half range. You know what? I'm going to move Alex English down. But I like Alex English. I just think these other guys are better. Caliber Cheney might get moved down as well. Yeah, I don't think Caliber Cheney is... Not to there. I don't think I can say he's like significantly better than Maggette. Jason Tatum. B. Jason Tatum basically the Dark Matter. Literally, the only difference is gold to half Showtime. Other than that, they're the same card. Jason Tatum, solid in B tier. Jermaine O'Neill, wherever Greg Oden is. You have to put some vibes on Jermaine O'Neill. I'm not a fan, but I know some people are. Draymond release, I'm pretty sure. Jerry West. I think Jerry West is severely underrated, but he's still E tier. He's a 6'2 point guard. He's a 6'1 point guard. Or is he 6'2? 6'2, I think. But he does have a 6'9 wingspan. He kind of reminds me a lot of Rondo. Reminds me a lot of Rondo. He's not nearly as bad as people say he is. Joel Embiid. I'm going to go A tier, but it's a tough A tier. Like, what other center is going into S? If we're going 2 at each tier. If we're going, say enough 2 at each tier, 2 at each position. None of these by the looks of things. So literally it's like, do I put Embiid in or do I put D-Rob in? I think personal bias, I would put D-Rob in. But Embiid is really good. And I know Embiid doesn't have 80. I don't think Embiid is 86 ball handle, but it doesn't matter really. For a big. It's above 70. I don't want to play Giannis at center either. So I'm going to put D-Rob up there. But I might move D-Rob down if I need to play Giannis at center. John Wall. I mean, he's okay, isn't he? Like C. He's got a lot more length than these smaller guys. 6'4" with a long wingspan. He's kind of like, he's somewhere in between. He's basically, he's in between the Gary Paytons. He's a lot better than Opal Payton, but he's a lot worse than Dark Matter Payton. He's basically Gary Payton in between the Paytons. If you don't know, Payton has wall base, has wall release, so he's just Payton in between the Paytons. Isaac, S. S tier, probably a small forward. Maybe a power forward, but Jonathan Isaac versus Giannis is a debate. I probably would take Isaac over him. But yeah, I am a massive, massive fan of Jonathan Isaac in this game. Good release, Ken Curry, good animations. Randall. C. He's mid. He's mid tier. He's okay. Kareem. Wherever Odin is, he's a tier higher. He's like a slightly better version of Jermaine O'Neill or Greg Oden. Again, he's nothing. He's not even close. He is not even close to being as good as the Dark Matter. Like, it's a huge... It's not even a tactical downgrade. That's just a dumb downgrade. Karl Malone. I'm going to put him in as... So you know what? I might for now move... I'm going to move Mullen down so that Karl Malone, wherever he is, can be the 13th player we have in B tier. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Kawhi Leonard. It's A or S. I know there is someone reacting to this that is really comfortable using Kawhi Leonard, and obviously being comfortable with a player means a lot, but he does all the key badges on half. He's a blindness for next gen, but can't really dribble on next gen. I'll go S. I'll go S, but it's a close one. Actually, you know what? Like, what point guards do we have in here? So we got Luka. Okay, so for my point guards, Tyreke Evans is going in first. You know what? Like, Manu's better than Luka. Manu's better than Luka. Tyreke Evans getting to S tier. Oh, do I want... I prefer Jamal Crawford, but most people are going to prefer Manu, so I'm going to put Manu in. How about these two guys at the 1? Okay, so we've got our center sorted. Our power forward sorted. So we've got most of our best 10 sorted. Kermit... I mean, at this stage in the game, C. Kevin Durant, A. I actually was convinced we were going to get a free Kevin Durant today. Instead of getting the Dark Matter, what's his name? George Mikan. I was convinced we were going to get Kevin Durant today. I was sure that he was going to be like the new Luka. We were going to get a free Quantum Kevin Durant. I don't know why I was certain of it, but I was pretty sure we were. But Kevin Durant's really good, especially on next gen. This Kevin Durant, he's in at the 2. Sorry. He's most definitely in at the 2. Kevin Durant's release on quick is nowhere near as good as his on very quick, and we've learned that with... What's the dude's name? Robert Reed. We've learned that with him. So, Kevin Durant, I'm just waiting for a small forward 2 guard Kevin Durant to just dominate the game. To be fair, it's 27th of May. Like, this time last year, we'd already had... I'm pretty sure we already had out of position 2 at this time last year for point guard KD. Kyle Kuzma. I really like Kuzma. Like, I like Kuzma more than most people like Kuzma, so I'm going to put him in A. But if you want to put him in B, that's fine. Okay, LeBron James. Like, right now, he's C. He's just outdated, and I get it. Again, a lot of people ran him in 250. He gets some decent animations, but like gold showtime, gold clamps, gold range, LeBron release on quick, which is not a very good release. He's just not like, he's just outdated. He's outdated. He was great for his time though. Lonzo, A. Definitely, I really saw the point guard. I don't know why I thought Lonzo was the best point guard here and Luke was the best, and I forgot these two guys existed. But yeah, Lonzo's really good. And you could argue Lonzo. Heck, you could argue, I'm trying to think of the point guard position. Let's put Luka into A tier. I don't think there's any other point guard you can really argue up that high. Actually, Sarunas is probably better than Manu. No, he's not. It's a close one. Sarunas, you can argue Sarunas in there. You can argue Luka in there. You can argue Lonzo in there. If you want to swap out these two guys for any of these three, or Jamal Crawford, be my guest. Like, it's a tough one because Sarunas is really good. And again, that's my lefty shooter bias coming in. But I do think if you're on next gen, there's one standout, and it's Tyreke Evans, even though he might be the worst of them on current. I'll go Tyreke there. Magic Johnson. Can't run. It's a bit of a problem. Post hooks aren't really everything anymore. He's really good on next gen, so I'll give him B tier. And he's 6'9" point guard. Michael Cooper. One of the more underrated cards, but like, is he significantly... I mean, he's got base 28, but is he significantly better than like a Cheney or a Morris or an Alex English? I don't think so. So I think C tier is fine for him. Michael Redd. If you are on... No, he's not. He's like slight downgrade Kawhi Leonard. And honestly, he's... If you're on next gen, he's probably better than Kawhi. Oh, this is a tough one because Kawhi's better on current gen. Michael Redd's better on next gen. I don't know why I half consider putting him in B tier. Will Michael Redd might make it a small forward, or Kawhi might have to go in a small forward. Trying to get any of these guys right here that are better than next gen Michael Redd. Yeah, there are. There are guys that I'm going to put in. So Michael Redd is staying in that position. Obi Toppin was great for his time. He was completely free. But I mean, right now, Obi Toppin's D. He's like not as good as Glenn. He's D tier. He was great though when he came out. Ewing, B. His release is bad. That's the only bad thing about Ewing. His movement is really good, especially on next gen. He's got a good player build. His post game is good. He gets boards. He plays defense. He runs. He's got Pro 3 behind the back. If you can get used to that release, Patrick Ewing is a very solid card. So, as much as I hate to say it, Patrick Ewing, you're going into B tier. Paul George, wherever Kevin Durant is, A. Again, he can do everything. He's just a little bit weak in terms of rebounding for that power forward position. Good at small forward position. PG release on Quake, Curry, both Giants. He can do everything. A tier. Millsap, B. The more I use Millsap, the more I hate Millsap. He sold me in a few tournaments, but stats wise, he's like perfect. So yeah, let's go B tier for him. Penny Hardaway. I mean, Penny's got to be an A tier as well, because there's so little. Like Tyreke, Manu Ginobili, Jamal Crawford, Penny Hardaway, Lonzo Ball, Sarunas, Luka Doncic. All of those guys, it is just preference. And I'm going to move Weber down because I think Weber's not as good as these guys. I'm going to move Weber into the Magic Johnson tier. But I think all of those guys, like, they're all between 6'5" and 6'7". They can all handle. They've all got half range and a really good release. Very similar dribble sigs. It is literally whoever release you prefer more. Like, some might say, like, oh yeah, Crawford's too skinny, but that means he moves better on offense. It's literally whoever's release you prefer more. And I know a lot of people like Manu, so I'm putting Manu in S tier. If it was me, I'd have Crawford up instead of Manu. I know a lot of people would have Luka up instead of Manu. I know some people might have Lonzo up, and I know a good few would have Penny up, but it's all preference. Rafer Alston. I mean, he's got a 97 driving dunk, which is funny. But he's actually fun to use, but he's E tier. Richard. Post Sigs patch. I don't like his release, but if you want to argue A, that's fine. He was garbage, man. He was garbage when he came out for like 3 weeks, though. RJ Barrett. He's like poor man's Dr. J. And again, A tier. If you want to argue B tier, A tier, that's fine. Like, you're looking at wings, you're comparing to like Tatum and stuff. Some people might prefer him. Jaylen Brown. Like, even the gap between RJ Barrett and Jaylen Brown is not that big. The gap between Jaylen Brown and Calvert Cheney's not that big. The gap between RJ Barrett and Calvert Cheney's not that big. Although the gap between them and Devin Booker is quite big. So it's like anyone on this list above. Heck, you could even use some of these little guys. As long as they're on this bottom tier, they're pretty much usable in my team this year, which is a good thing. These lower tier cards are all usable. Ron Harper. I mean, he stinks on next gen. He absolutely stinks on next gen. I'm not putting him in the tier. I'm gonna go D tier, C tier, not D tier. He does not belong in D tier. I'm gonna go C tier because, I mean, he's not as good as Magic and Weber, so that's where he's going. And Juan Carlos Navarro in the right hands is a lot better. At his best, he's a lot better than Ron Harper. Rudy. This is where it's a tough one. So I'm gonna put 3 guys: Rudy, Steven Jackson, and if you have Showtime Steven Jackson, I'm assuming someone has at least gold Showtime Steven Jackson, and Tony Kukoc. These 3 guys right here. It's between, I'm trying to think who gets that last spot. Between these guys and then next gen Michael Red. If you're on next gen, you would go for Michael Red, probably in at the 2, and move Kawhi to the 3. If you're on or maybe I want to put in Tony Kukoc. Kukoc got Ray Allen base as well. I mean, if you're on next gen, I would go Michael Red, take out Kawhi Leonard, and put in Kukoc. That's what I'd go if I'm on next gen. But on current gen, I wouldn't have either of those guys. I would probably, if it's me because of how little I green, I would have Steven Jackson as another 2 guard, and then small forward, I'd probably have Rudy. I would go with this team if I was on current gen, because Rudy and Steven Jackson are basically the exact same card, except one's a 2 and one's a small forward, power forward. The only difference is you got half Showtime versus no Showtime. This is what I go with on current gen. And on next gen, so I wouldn't put, for me personally, I wouldn't put Kawhi in on either gen into my best, but he'd be like the next up on both gens. I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna go Kukoc. There is definitely some bias in there, but lefty release Ray Allen. I'm going Kukoc, and for height as well. And the last 2 guard position: Michael Red, Kawhi, or Steven Jackson. Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn right here between these 3 guys. They each have their own thing. Like, personally, because again, I don't green anywhere near as often as like a competitive player, Steven Jackson is going to play the best for me on current gen. Then Michael Red's going to be best on next gen. But Kawhi is going to be close to the best on next gen, while close to the best on current gen. I'm going to go... Screw it. Pick your battles, Mick. Pick your battles. I don't want someone going berserk on a reaction. Let's go Kawhi Leonard. Let's go Kawhi Leonard. This is the team that we have got. This is the best 10 in my opinion for the Galaxy Opal tier. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. That is the video. This is my tier list of the best Galaxy. Wait, I forgot. I have a load more. Oh my god, I was like, oh, we're trying to find the best 10. I did not realize we had these more. Let's go. Rihajimura. Let's just quick fire these ones. Rihajimura. Worst Kyle Kuzma, B tier. Steve Smith. I mean, he's meh, C tier, and just don't spend the tokens on him. Tracy McGrady, very, very solid. B tier, but you can make an argument A tier. He's very much on the fringes. Victor Oladipo, 1 tier below John Wall, wherever he is. So D tier. I just prefer John Wall. There's no like reason for I prefer John Wall. Wes Unseld, I hate him. D tier. But if you want to argue Wes Unseld higher, that's fine. I don't know why I hate him. Xavier McDaniels, B tier, but he's high B tier as well. Zach Levine, offensively A tier, defensively like C tier. So let me check Zach Levine in B tier. I don't think he's bad. Let me go. I mean, I don't mind Zebo, but he's either low C or high D. I'm gonna go C tier, but I mean, no, I don't like him on current gen, so I'm gonna go D tier. He's got a next gen though. So yeah, that is actually the video. This is the Galaxy Opal tier list. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.